Well, look at me now. You knew it was gonna happen, I knew it was gonna happen, and here we are, in the moment it happened. Two games that came out in series that I absolutely adore and would really like to play. And then everything changed when the frickin' Fire Emblem Nation attacked. A 30th anniversary special edition celebrating the first game in the series. Bro, I've been here, I know how this stuff goes. As someone who is interested in upkeeping his Fire Emblem Shill Shrine, if I didn't act then, it would have been gone. Like, Yakuza and Hyrule Warriors will still be there in a couple of months. The special edition won't be. It was a game of priorities, and here I am, suffering my own personal hell because of it. But Nintendo just released a demo for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and since its data transfers into the final game, I might as well try it out. Remind myself of the stupid decisions I made in doing this dumbass year-long challenge in the first place. Frick! You know what? I think I can wait. Yeah, I wasn't terribly impressed with the demo. To be fair, it's not like I noticed any red flags. The frame rate is pretty bunk, but so is Breath of the Wild's, and look how that ended up. It's pretty much at the quality that I expected this game to be at, but I didn't feel an increased desire to play this game. In fact, I feel a little deflated if anything. The story hasn't really gone anywhere interesting in the demo, the voice acting is still subpar, and somehow the overall level layouts really ended up confusing me. I'm not really sure why, but it's still how I felt. I'm sure the content after the demo's runtime is much better. But right now, in this current moment, I'm surprised to say that I'm willing to let a Zelda game skip past me for a little while longer. On the bright side, it's something to put on my Christmas list, and worst case scenario, I'll just pick it up next year. Well, I suppose I could play some other games while I wait, and I got 2 gifts recently that I need to take care of before the year ends. So, first on my list is from my friend CJ, who gave me the game Pyre. CJ told me that Pyre would have been his game of the year if it did not happen to release in the year it did. For those not keeping count, Pyre first came out in 2017. As in, that 2017. The game takes place in a purgatory-like realm where the only way to leave is to compete in a series of rites and gain enlightenment, with the rites being a sort of basketball kind of game. I have a really troublesome time actually controlling the characters within the rites. I always feel like my opponents have a better handle of exactly how to move as opposed to me. Even still, I just bumble my way around and somehow it ends up working. The various intricacies aren't too hard to understand, but it's fitting all those pieces together for a cohesive play experience where I personally get tripped up the most. I'm not trying to list this as a negative point against the game though. Pyre is one of the most unique gameplay experiences I know about. It's considerate in slowly introducing more tools to take advantage of. The more I played, the more I came to a greater appreciation for the sport and the strategy. That said, the story and character presentation is top notch. Despite getting thrust into this world with almost no preparation, the game does an excellent job at filling you in on the important details, to not make players feel like they're lost. I especially love that the game will allow you to hover over terminology and get glossary definitions for what they mean in the context of the world. It made me feel really involved with the story despite having to ask a lot of questions to get caught up to speed. It's not the kind of game I thought I would be into when it started, but with a bit more time under my belt, I can absolutely see why this game is held in such high regard. Alright, well, second game on the docket is Vanquish, given to me by my friend Trey. There's really no big sentiment behind this one. Trey just wanted to give me something and he asked me what I wanted. So I said, how about Vanquish? Vanquish is a game developed by Platinum Games, which was a fact that initially surprised me, as this is not the kind of game I would commonly attribute to that developer's wheelhouse. When I think of Platinum, I think of stylish and interesting character-based melee combat. Games like Bayonetta, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, Astral Chain, and so on. So looking at a third-person shooter and having to process that it's from the same developer is a bit weird at first. Though to be fair, it doesn't feel even slightly out of place amongst the rest of the Platinum catalog, at least in terms of tone. Especially when the game starts to become a lot more goofy in terms of the insane feats that characters pull off, it really makes the overall story way more entertaining than it has any right to be. I think this is one of the harder Platinum titles to really get a solid grasp on. I switched between using mouse and keyboard or an Xbox controller on the fly, and I found both pretty useful for different niche situations, but neither that I really preferred over the other. I'm not really all that practiced with first or third person shooters, but even still, I really struggle to find my flow with this game. Give it some time though. Once you got the movement options figured out and get some practice with the minor tech, things click into place before you know it. You'll feel like the coolest guy on the block. Taking down giant mechanical beasts will pose no threat to you, and other times you'll scrape by the skin of your knees as you wonder how you made it out of such chaotic firefights alive. While the difficulty curve is very intense, I also think the game is surprisingly forgiving. So whether you are or are not a fan of third-person shooters, Vanquish gets my full recommendation. If you stick around to watch my other content on this channel, you probably know that I'm currently working on a retrospective video series for MegaMan Legends. So for the past couple of months, I've devoted a lot of my time and energy to playing those games. In addition to just the Legends games, I also needed example footage for every other Mega Man game in those videos. So I took my copies of the Legacy collections, booted up the few Virtual Console ports I have, and started sampling a bit of titles from across the franchise. Well, as I was playing all these games, I happened across an interesting desire. For some reason, I really wanted to play Mega Man 4. So I played through all of Mega Man 4. Then I looked at some of the other games on offer and thought, I really wanted to play the original Mega Man. Then I finished that. Then moved on, and on, and on, and on. Before I knew it, I somehow completed every game on the classic Legacy Collection. So that meant it was time to move on to Legacy Collection 2. So I played 7, then 8, then 9, and eventually 10. And of course there's Mega Man 11, the newest game in the series, which I might as well play for completeness, you know? Looking back on it now, I found this whole process so fascinating. I haven't felt this passionately about Mega Man as a franchise since I was 12 years old. I might have played a couple of the games here and there, but I haven't played these games back to back like this since I was that young. And for the most part, this was actually the first time I finished many of these games for myself. Coming back as an adult though, I think I have a much more refined appreciation for the Blue Bomber than ever before. With being able to play all of these games in succession, I really began to appreciate how consistently well made all of these games are. I really began to appreciate a lot more about these games that I just used to take for granted. Whether that be the impressive visual feats they were able to pull off, or amazing level concepts that are really dang unique. Mega Man's 1 through 6 are still some of the best NES games you could play today. Mega Man 7 through 10 are undeniably a lot more inconsistent, but none which I would personally call a bad game. And of course we can't forget about Mega Man 11, which was an excellent comeback title that gives me confidence Capcom will do right by the series if they allow it to continue. While I never did stop loving Mega Man, I'm glad to say the joy I have playing these games burns hotter than ever. Well, believe it or not, there's only 1 month left in the year of 2020. So, join me next time as we discuss this gaming challenge for the last time and give it its proper send-off. Oh boy, I can't wait!